Well, now the International Olympic Committee is unlikely to overturn World Athletics' ban on the Russian track and field team at the Rio de Janeiro Games. That's according to the IOC Vice President John Coates. The International Association of Athletics Federations on Friday unanimously upheld its ban on Russian athletes competing at international competitions due to state-sponsored doping. Russia has cried foul over the ban, and President Vladimir Putin said he hoped for an appropriate response from the IOC. Coates on Friday offered some hope that individual Russian athletes might compete at Rio. That's if they could show sufficient evidence that they were clean. He said that the IOC summit in Switzerland may set some guidelines on just how such athletes might have recourse to appeal the blanket ban.
It's an international federation's right to suspend a national federation, and I don't think we would overturn that at all. I'll be very surprised.
We can't assume that everybody in every race in Rio will be clean. The steps that have been taken by the IAAF, in this instance by the IOC, to continue absolute zero tolerance to doping is good. It's a positive step. Is it going to be 100% clean in Rio? No, it's not going to be. But at least steps are being taken now. The retesting of samples, everything is moving in the right direction.
There have been many twists and turns in this Russia doping saga, but with less than 50 days to go until the start of the Rio Olympics, we have this incredible situation of Russia's track and field team unable to take their place in Rio. That's because the IAAF have upheld their suspension, the suspension that they imposed last year in November following widespread doping allegations. The task force that was set up say that Russia's doping authorities have made some progress, but it's not enough to have that ban lifted. There will be the possibility of some Russian athletes being able to take their place in Rio. Any athlete that can prove a clean doping record that's been regularly tested along the way, they can potentially go to Rio, but it will be under a neutral flag, not the Russian flag.
The recommendation again that the task force gave to the council was that an amendment to our competition rules could potentially allow athletes that are outside of a tainted system to be eligible for international competition. Now, that may include Russian athletes living outside of Russia, but operating within a safe and secure anti-doping system, and that we have created a small review board that will look at each and every one of those as an individual case.
As for Russia, they're understandably disappointed with this decision. They'll also be looking at their legal options, but they're also disappointed here in Vienna that the task force report was presented with no real chance to explain the findings.
Very unfortunately that this report partly based on the materials from last day's interviews, last day's films, last day's reports. Sometimes I think it's true, sometimes maybe not, but it's better. It will be better to discuss it before. Maybe we could explain something, maybe we could organize some investigations or something like this. Like it was before, like it was during these months. It was very fruitful cooperation with task force. And for me it was very strange that this last moment materials were included to the report.
So the attention now shifts towards the IOC and their special summit next week. But time is fast running out for Russia's athletes to make the Rio Olympics. Dan Williams, CCTV, Vienna.